I got the Gary Beals thing.
What?
I got the Gary Beals thing.
Like Gary Beals?
No. I just went to that thing. I hit the poster signed
today to celebrate the 80 years of Lloyd McCarthy being on this green earth, and hopefully another 80 to go. They've asked me to start things off by simply raising a glass to toast, but first of all I'd like to say a little something about this man. He's not my father, but I have come to know him as my second father. My real father couldn't make it here today. He's stuck in Halifax with the weather. He and Mom couldn't make it out, but they certainly bring their best wishes to everybody here, and they hope to show up sometime tomorrow. My mom and dad gave me life, but this man right here gave me my wife. And not only that, but he gave me the chance to have 3 wonderful children, and to live in this beautiful valley, and to get married in the Indianapolis United Church. All these things would never have happened if I hadn't met this man, if I hadn't met his eldest daughter, Colleen. In fact, I wouldn't even have a career. As you all know, Lloyd did very well with London Life. He convinced me to come into the fold, so to speak, and I've been at it 20 years. I owe this man so much, but also where I live. Even Kick-a-Butt Farm in Middleton, I wouldn't be there if Lloyd hadn't taken me out one Saturday. I took Colleen up. He was boarding our horse when we were living in Timberlake. And we came up so Colleen could go riding for the day. So what do I do on a Saturday with nobody around, nobody that I knew? So Lloyd slaps me in the leg and says, let's go sell somebody something. And that's exactly what we did. We went door to door, went to see some farmers, did business, and on the way home he said to me, Jimmy, have you ever been to Middleton? And I said, only on my way to go someplace else. He said, well, I'd like to drop in there if you don't mind, and look at some stuff that another horseman was getting out of the business, and Lloyd wanted to take a quick run in to the end of Senator Street to talk to Mr. Ken White about some horse equipment and tack and whatnot. And when we drove in there, I fell in love with the farm, and he fell in love with the fact that I fell in love with his farm, and he made an offer within 2 hours, and next thing I knew I was living in the valley. So if it hadn't been for Lloyd, my life would not be anywhere near what it is today. Hard to say where it would be, but I couldn't ask for any more. If everybody would please just raise a glass and toast to Lloyd McCarthy, 80 years and many more to come. To Lloyd. Now comes the fun part. I don't know how many of you here want to have anything to say today, but I do know this man right here has got a few words that he would like to. Bud Webster from Yarmouth. He traveled all the way here from Yarmouth. He told me 3 weeks ago, didn't care what the weather was going to be like, he was going to be here. Bud, your man, your word. 2 weeks ago, sorry.
I squeeze this or give
No, you just hop right into it.
Well, I really don't know what to say. I think I've known Lloyd for what? Good. I've gone over 40 years, and I could tell a lot of things, but to some I probably shouldn't. But thank you.
Kenny Rogers.
Anyway,
No damn line.
but the thing that is outstanding as far as Lloyd is concerned, myself, we had meetings at Middle. Once a month, those of us in the age of life would have a meeting. Lloyd would leave the meeting early. And the business was over, he'd leave, and the reason for this was to go somewhere and do business. He couldn't stop for a full day. He'd have to take a piece of the day. He'd have to go to, am I not?
Yeah, no.
I don't know if it is.
I'd say you just got to get right into it.
I'm not used to one of these things. Anyway, am I doing any better?
A little better.
Yeah. But, and over a 40-year period, I guess Lloyd and I probably got to know each other pretty well. With that, I got to quit. 40 years. Here, you go.
Hi, folks. I feel like the guy, the sheriff was leading this guy to the gallows. And the minister was there and he said, do you have anything to say before we hang you? He said, no. Damn it, he said, I come here to be hung, not to make a speech. That's the way to me. I came here to have fun, not to make a speech. Someone said, are you nervous, Lloyd? Nervous? I said, just as nervous as a long-tailed tomcat in a room full of rocking chairs. Anyway, this is a big day for me. I want to thank everybody for coming. Some came a long ways. Old buddy boy came from Yarmouth, Dartmouth. I want to thank the Lionettes. Special thanks to my two daughters and my two stepdaughters, two nieces. Thank you, girls. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I should tell you a couple little jokes, but this old guy down the road years ago lost one of his horses. So, of course, he had to have another horse. So a few days afterwards, he went out to the horse dealer. He looked all around and he found this little horse he liked. So he said to the guy, how much do you want for him? He said, you'd have to have 200. He said, that's a lot of money. Couldn't do a little better, could you? Well, he said, yeah. He said, if you pay cash, he said, I take off 10%. Well, the old farmer didn't know what that 10% was. So he said, does that deal still hold good for tomorrow? Oh, yes, he said, 24 hours. He said, the deal's good for 24 hours. So away he went, started for home. He was walking up the road and he didn't know what 10% meant. Couldn't get that straight to every state. After a while, he came to Little Room Schoolhouse here. He knocked on the door about 5 minutes to 12. And the little teacher went out. I don't know if they'll tell you her name, but she went out and she said, sir, what can I do for you? He said, teacher, if I gave you $200, less 10%, how much would you take off? She said, for $200, I'd take off and leave all my glasses and hair. happened years ago when we were just little tots. Mother got us all ready for Sunday school one morning. Of course, we had to walk out to church. Didn't have any car. I was about 6 and I was about 5. So she gave us a nickel. She gave Howard 2 nickels and gave me a nickel. And she said, boys, one of those nickels is for the Lord, and the other is for you. So away we took the 2 nickels, away we went. We get up here to Jake's Bridge. It was a big freshet this spring of the year. The water was high. So of course we had to stop and look around. So we leaned over the rail. Howard dropped one of his nickels. I said, Lloyd, there goes the Lord's.
I don't need that.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks for coming.
I've been told I don't need a microphone. This poem was composed by Lloyd's niece Sharon, who he affectionately calls Lester because of her horse trading abilities. And she's become quite a little poet. 80 years ago, down Sheet Harbor Way, a baby boy was born and moved to Auburn to stay. With his mother, father, 3 sisters, and 2 brothers, their house was always full with boarders, friends, and others. He attended school like every young boy should, but I've heard stories he wasn't all that good. He spent many summers hauling hay and firewood with the help of his 2 brothers as only they could. Then came the mail route before they had an automobile. Lloyd sat behind a horse. That was his best deal. Is that how he got hooked, or is it in his blood? He never liked to ride a horse, just drive on through the mud. Then on to the feed store our Lloyd he did go, learning more than you and I would ever hope to know. He never took a bet horse, as far as anyone knows, but when there's a horse in trouble, with his knowledge he goes. Along came a pretty gal, Rita was her name. It didn't take very long to play the dating game. Times were a-changing, and so did he. A London life rep he decided to be. For the years passed quickly and his family grew, from 2 lovely daughters to sons-in-law too. He worked many hours, but it seemed to pay off. He soon learned his horses were no cash crop. Now Grampy and always on the run, with 6 grandchildren, he has lots of fun. He still has a horse you can come and see, so in the barn is where he will be. So to a father, grandfather, great-grandfather, uncle, and best friend, happy birthday wishes is what we're here to say. We all wish you have a wonderful day.
Maybe when you get another 4 years older, your memory will be no better than mine. I'm going to tell you a little something that happened to me the other night. I was going out into the kitchen, and I left my wife sitting in the living room watching TV. She said, Howard, you're going out, would you bring me back a little ice cream when you come? I said, sure. So I get pretty well up there, and she said, Howard, you better mark that down so you don't forget it. And I thought, oh, I remember you want some ice cream. So I got pretty near the kitchen and said, Howard, you better make that orange pineapple. You better write that down so you won't forget. I won't forget. So I went out anyway. I come back in, and I handed her this tray with nice fried eggs and bacon. And she looked at me, she said, Howard, you forgot the toast. That's what happens when you get old. I tell you, Lloyd, sorry about that. Lloyd's portfolio, when we formed the Lions Club, and that was 36 years ago? 36 or 7? Something like that. He got a good memory, I thought he remembered. We didn't have a hall. This hall was purchased for Lions Hall since that. Lloyd is a charter member. There was only 20 of us forming the club. And when we did get around to having a hall of our own, it was just what you see in this room. Less seconds up there. We would build that one, that would build on, the truck would build on. And one way or the other, sometimes behind the scenes, Lloyd was always involved. But Lloyd's had a lot to do with being involved in everything, his Lions Club, his church, everything in the community. He's always been strongly involved. And we all give him a lot of credit for that. But what really stands up to me is his memory, because his memory is great. And what I tell you, he's a good fellow to come visit you too. I was laid up for a few weeks, and I had a lot of people come in and visit me, but one of them was Lloyd. And Lloyd come one week, and I have to admit, his memory is starting to slip a little bit, because he had to come back the second week and pick up the keys to his house before I left.
Myself. My name's Shannon O'Rourke, and me and my old buddy, we like to fight because I'm from Cape Breton, and he told me Cape Breton was only good for two things, fighting and you can figure it out. But anyway, I just want to tell you that Lloyd's been a really good friend of mine. Him and Kirsten are pretty much my only friends in the valley. We're both into harness racing. I had a lot of problems when I first started, and I didn't know much, I still don't. But one of my biggest problems was I had a mare that I couldn't get in foal, and I was going to get rid of her. And I went and seen Lloyd, and Lloyd said, what do you get rid of her for? I said, well, I'm leaving for 6 months, Lloyd, and I can't afford to get her in foal. I can't afford to keep her. He said, yeah, you'll be gone for the summer. He said, breed her to that old stallion of yours. And I said, well, how do you know? I said, I tried her 2 years, and he was a new stallion. He said, son, that horse will get a fence post in foal. Anyway, I came back, I got the mare checked by Zed, he said she wasn't in foal. So I called Lloyd and I said, she's gone. Lloyd said, you wait, I'm going to come up and take a look at her. So we went up and Lloyd gave me the old, and he said, son, that mare's in foal. And I said, no, she's not, Lloyd, the vet told me she wasn't. He said, I'm telling you, she's in foal. Well, anyway, the mare went on to raise the 3-year-old champion last year. Okay, that foal was a 3-year-old champion, and I was getting rid of her. He taught me my first loss was my best, and the most important thing he taught me was watch out for Howard.
When I was about 13 years old, I took the job on janitor at the school. And, I tried to get the job, and the trustee went to my father and said I was too young. He said, you have to get up in the morning at 7 o'clock and make the fire. There's 3 fires. Dad said, don't worry about that young lad. He'll be up in the morning. 4 to 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock every morning he's up. So they they gave me the job. Put an 8 quarts of wood in, piled that up. Cleaned this all up. I got a big pay, $6 a month. I did it for 3 or 4 years, and that's it. $6.
How's everybody go?